Welcome to Simply Chic by V, episode 2. On today's episode, we're talking about all things fashion. I'm going to be teaching you some tips and tricks on how to always make sure that you're styled and looking your very best. Before we get started, here's our little disclaimer as always. You're going to hear some baby crying and cooing from time to time as I'm recording in Alessandra's nursery, my 5-month-old daughter, who's right here beside me in her crib. She's playing with her little stuffed animal. So just in case it goes off or it makes a noise, just know this is the full-time mom life. Salud, mommy. Salud. So let's get right into it. Fashion is such a large topic, and it's very controversial because many people may think, I like this, I don't like this, that's in fashion, that's not in fashion. It seems very opinionated, but there is some basic ground rules for styling for fashion. Alessandra does not like that. Hold on. So fashion is such a large topic, mainly because so many people have such different opinions on what works, what doesn't work, what looks good. But fashion is art. And the same way that art has different options and different styles and different people like different types of art, there are some basic fundamental rules of what makes something considered art versus not. What's complicated about fashion is that there's different categories in which you need to abide by different guidelines, because fashion isn't just color or texture or size or fit. It's all of that put together and more. So it's really kind of tricky. That's why a lot of people say, oh, it's really hard for me to kind of figure out how to dress or what to wear, what looks good and what doesn't look good. And then they see other people that it just comes more naturally for them and they feel a little bit frustrated. If you're one of those people that kind of struggle on styling, getting dressed, or knowing what fits good, you're not alone. Don't feel bad. It's because it takes a lot of different kind of base fundamentals of like understanding art and texture and design. And that's something that's just innate in some people. Like some artists, some people are musicians and can grab an instrument and listen and play instantly. And other people need years and years and years of practice. So think of fashion that way. Either it's a natural talent you have, or just take some work to learn how to do it well. But it doesn't mean that you cannot learn to do it well. With that being said, I want to walk you through all the guides and steps and tricks on how you can get to that ideal styled you that you want to be. The first thing we want to start off with is picking your aesthetic. And this is basically picking the style that you want to show or represent or that you best like. And from there, I can guide you into all of the other kind of things and aspects that you need. For the sake of this podcast, I'm going to use myself as an example with my aesthetic and all of the tips and tricks that I use to get and achieve that look. Obviously, we can do this with any other type of aesthetic. I'll give other examples as we go along so that you guys can kind of capture and see what is it, how you can use this to benefit you and dress and style yourself the best way possible. So, like I mentioned, aesthetic is basically style. So that's deciding on what your overall feel of your look you want it to be. Do you want to be minimalistic? Do you want to be colorful? Do you want to be bold? Do you want to be feminine? Do you want to be masculine? Do you want to be rocker? Do you want to be emo? Do you want to be preppy? There's so many options. Once we establish which one you want to be, then we can go into the next step. So as an example, I consider myself to be feminine classic. I like very classic silhouette and styles with femininity to it. So I like wearing dresses. I like things that feel soft. I like soft pastel colors. I like light floral prints. I'm not a huge print girl, but when I do, I like it to be very soft and very feminine without being too frou-frou. So the difference of that is like I don't like, since I feel like I've always looked younger, I don't like prints or styles that make me look too young because then I look a little bit childlike. But there are some people that pull that look off so well, but that's just not for me. So femininity and like young are two different options. So I want to look feminine and classic. And what I mean by classic is kind of staples and styles that last through time, where I could have worn it maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and I can still wear it today, and I can still probably wear it 20 years into the future. That's just something that I really like a lot. There are people that like to be trendier, and that's okay too. Even though I do, just because you are one aesthetic doesn't mean you can't do trends. Not every trend is going to be for you, and that is really important to know once you pick your aesthetic. But that doesn't mean you can't fit into a trend if you like to. So just kind of simple overall example. I like to be feminine and be classic. Right now, mom jeans are super, super in. Mom jeans, mom shorts, and those styles tend to be a little bit more masculine energy, even though they're called mom jeans and mom shorts. Why? Because they're boxier, they're high waisted, they're not as like fitted and curved. It's more of a relaxed fit. This tends to be more of a fit typically known for like men to wear, because men don't typically wear historically through time more fitted clothes. Of course, there's decades and seasons and trends that make different things become popular during different eras. But generally speaking, when we think of men's clothing, we think of things that are more relaxed and more of a straight and narrow fit. When we think of women's fits, we tend to think of something that's more fitted or more curvy or more tailored to the body in certain areas. As I was saying, these items are really trendy right now, but my aesthetic is feminine classic fit. So, how do I use and how do I wear these more masculine styles into my aesthetic? And I love a mom jean and a mom short right now. And the key is how we're styling it overall. So, the first thing you want to think of is choosing your aesthetic. Once you have that aesthetic chosen, then the second thing we're going to think of is styling to fit this aesthetic. And styling is going to go a little bit hand in hand with the third kind of key point, which is fit. So, how things fit you are really important to how you style it, because the same item can be worn by two completely different women and not give the same feeling at all because our body types are different. And I know, and I'm a true believer, we are in a new generation where you can wear whatever you want. I get that. I'm not here to tell you you can't wear that, you can't wear this. But I'm here to tell you different ways that you can enhance your beauty and make it more flattering for your body type versus for someone else. I'll give another example. When I was young, growing up, I've always been a petite girl. Even when I hit puberty and I developed, I didn't really have big boobs. I didn't have a really big butt. I was overall pretty petite and small framed. Because of this, I was able to really dive into the trend at the time when I was growing up, which was like the little mini denim skirts, and I could wear that and get away with it and it was fine. But girls that were more developed than me were not able to wear that as much because it automatically made them look inappropriate or skanky or hoochie because they had more voluptuous bodies. So it made them sexier. Because I was very little and I was still had a very petite kind of young girl body type, it didn't look or appear that way for me, which is why our aesthetics were totally different even though we were wearing the same item. That's not to say that the girl that is more voluptuous and that had more curves couldn't necessarily be on trend and be wearing the things that were popular at the time. You just had to learn how to wear it to your body type. And what you want to do with that is called balance. Balance is the focus of what we're looking for in this overall kind of styling of your body. This is something that even for people that have been OGs in the game like me, is hard from time to time when your body changes. So I have been someone who pretty consistently throughout life always kind of had the same body shape and body type. But now being a postpartum mom, I for sure am having to relearn how to dress my body. These are certain things that I used to be able to wear that I just don't feel as comfortable wearing anymore. But my aesthetic hasn't changed. I still want to wear certain things, but I just have to learn how to wear them differently. So let's say I was going to be wearing a mom short. Right now, let's say we're in the summer. I want to be wearing a mom short. I want to be super comfortable, but I still want to stay in my feminine classic aesthetic. So what are things that make an aesthetic or fashion feminine? Femininity usually can come in different ways. It doesn't always necessarily mean you have to wear pink or have to wear a dress. So things that are feminine can be lightweight fabrics, something that feels soft, gives that vibe of femininity. A print that is kind of tender and simple and sweet. It could be a floral print, it could be a geometric print. The ways that the colors are put off, but the feeling of it is kind of softness. Softness is kind of related to femininity. This can be done in color, print, design, and even texture. So I would want to pair those shorts with a top that gives that vibe of femininity. Sometimes that can even be, even if you're wearing a more structured top, could be also in the cut of the top, what makes it more feminine. And typically femininity can be in showing your collarbone, showing maybe a little bit of cleavage, showing a shoulder, showing some part of your upper body and skin that typically in a male wardrobe you would not see or wear as much, which is why it makes it more feminine. It's about balancing the opposites. And that would be key to wearing that. Now, let's say I didn't want to wear that because I was really going to be out with my daughter at like a theme park all day and I still wanted to feel feminine and classic. what would I do? Let's say I was wearing a t-shirt and those shorts. I would look for a sneaker because I'm going to be walking around all day that also feels a bit feminine. I want something that maybe is light color, like white or beige, that feels airy. If I'm not looking for a slim sneaker because I want something thicker and I want to do like a dad sneaker, now we're two trends off of my style, I would look for something in that sneaker that makes it more feminine. Again, texture, colors, so that it's a little bit more soft. Another option, and this is something that's really important, is going to be the accessories. How you accessorize can really help your aesthetic a lot. I think we underestimate styling, and styling also has to do with accessories and with beauty. And I mean skincare, makeup, and hair. That is a huge part. Let's say that you're someone that doesn't like, you want to go to the park. At this point, we're wearing the mom jeans, the mom shorts with a white t-shirt. We have some dance sneakers on that maybe are in beige or in cream. We have the denim shorts and then a white tee. The white tee, let's say, is scoop neck to not make it V or too high. The scoop neck tee. Then we're going to be wearing all of this look. Now, to continue to make it a feminine, classic look, what we want to do is we want to incorporate accessories that bring out that femininity. So typically, whether you like to wear jewelry, this would be a great way to make it really feminine because jewelry tends to be feminine in general. So you may want to have some layered necklaces, you may want to wear a statement earring, you may want to do some rings, some bracelets. This will help your overall look feel very feminine. Now, there are different types of jewelry that feel masculine and feminine. I would definitely mix or at least stay on the more dainty side. So a dainty simple necklace, maybe if you want to do a statement earring, but maybe it's like a simple hoop. If you want to do maybe a big watch, but little thin bracelets, just one or two little simple rings, that makes it feel more feminine overall. You also want to think about, your other accessories, whether you're wearing a handbag, a backpack, the type of bag that you're wearing can also make it feel very feminine and classic if you choose those styles. A perfect example I always take when I go on trips, I have this black leather backpack. It's boxy, it's from DKNY, and it is really beautiful because it feels very classic. I could literally wear that bag in the next 20 years and it's still gonna look great. It's simple, it's black, and that makes it very chic. Now, the bag in itself isn't very feminine because it's a black kind of modern square bag, but how I wear it with my outfit, I can decide on making it feminine or not. So at this point, we're saying I'm wearing the mom shorts, the white tee, the dance sneakers. We're marrying the sneakers in a light color so that it feels a little bit more feminine. We're doing a lot of dainty gold jewelry. Gold is the type of color that I like. You can wear silver, it doesn't really matter. Then I'm going to be wearing my black leather backpack that feels very classic. So now we're elevating this look by making it more classic with a really statement white bag. And then on top of that, we're going to add something else to make it a little bit more feminine because still the outfit doesn't feel that feminine. It's very trendy and it's very sporty. And what I'm going to do is maybe I'll wear, right now there's a huge trend on wearing those coquette bows, like little clips in your hair. I'd do one of those in probably black or in cream to either match my shoes or match my handbag. And I would wear my makeup in a feminine way. So I would curl my eyelashes. I would probably wear like a nudish red, either a nude or red or pink kind of lipstick. I would wear mascara, color in my brows, make myself look very feminine in this way, the way I would style my makeup. And with having the hair accessory and the backpack and the whole look, now I can say that my outfit and my look classic and feminine. Now, let's get that exact same example and that same look concept that you want to wear, but your vibe is a little bit more sporty, sexy. You want to be on the other spectrum. So, same shorts, same white tee, and now the dad sneakers. If you do want to be sexy, I was already wearing a white scoop neck t-shirt. Maybe you'll go for a v-neck t-shirt. Maybe a little bit more cleavage, gives you more of that vibe that you want to do. And maybe I would do the t-shirt a little bit more relaxed, maybe something less fitted. That way you get that sporty feel. The v-neck gives you that little bit of sexiness, and you're still wearing a relaxed denim short. The dad's sneaker is perfect, goes perfect with the vibe because it's very sporty for a dad sneaker. But you remember, you still want to be sexy. So we want to do something to balance off that dad sneaker. So to give that vibe to be a little bit more sexy. And a way that you can do this is your hair, how you style your hair. I would say typically in the world of femininity and sexuality for women or something that's sexy, typically tends to wear your hair down. So I would probably wear your hair down styled, either part in the middle, part on the side, whether you're Gen Z or millennial, whatever. Maybe even with some waves or curls to it. Mind you, this may be a little bit hot if you are going to be going to a theme park and that's the look you're going to have. So maybe I would do my hair down with some waves and texture and take like a nice hair clip so I can clip my hair in the back and have it like flow down. You want to think of like flowy movement tends to give the vibe of like sexuality, sexy, fun, playful. That is what you want to do. That's a great way to style your hair to give that kind of sexy vibe. Then another thing you want to focus on again are the accessories. If you want to do something sporty, maybe you can do a fanny pack. Maybe you can do it crossbody, or you can just wear like a classic way. This is a great way of making your look continue to look very sporty. Another great option that you can do is making sure that in that t-shirt that you're wearing, if it's v-neck and it's boxy, maybe you can roll up the sleeves so that way you're showing a little bit more skin, or maybe you can even tie it with a knot so you have a little bit of midriff, since mom shorts tend to be high-waisted and doesn't show too much skin and they're kind of long. So that way you have that balance of being sporty and being sexy all in one. Again, you can also focus on the way that you do your makeup. Some makeup tricks that make you feel kind of sexy are like really long lashes. So maybe you want to put on some lash extensions. You want to do your lips in a bold color. You maybe want to do red or outline them a little bit around the lips so they seem a little bigger. And this is the same exact way that you can have this look and make it feel sporty, sexy, and feminine classic. So now let's incorporate all of these factors to body types, because we just talked about style, pretending that it was the same girl in two different styles. But now, what if you're a different body type or your body's changing? Maybe you used to be someone like me that I was always really petite, and now postpartum, my boobs grew all of a sudden. And now I'm a totally different, larger size in my bust. And I can't necessarily wear the same things I used to wear before. I used to be able to wear a plunging top and it looked great and beautiful and sexy, but I still looked very classic because I didn't have a lot going on that made it too sexy. Versus now, if I were wearing the exact same outfit, I have some plunging outfits that I wear now and I'm like, oh, that's way too much. You want to learn that you may not be able to wear the same styles unless that's the vibe that you want to give, and more power to you. But just focusing on what we're talking about as remaining in that aesthetic. Sometimes your aesthetic may change as your body changes, because now if you were someone that never really had a larger chest and now you do, maybe you want to show it off. But it's just really understanding what areas of your body and what it is that makes you feel confident, beautiful, and that's what you want to show off and portray. And that is the biggest thing and the most important, is learning to dress for your body. I would definitely say, again, it's not so much about your body size and shape, but it's what you want to accentuate in your body size and shape. Because like I mentioned, if you have larger boobs, maybe you don't want to show them off. You want to hide them. Maybe you want to show them off. Maybe you want to have more cleavage. The focus is more about what it is that you want to accentuate in your body, and what are the parts of your body that you don't want to show off as much, that you are not as flattering or you feel not as comfortable in. And this is totally different for everybody. And I say this not because I want people to be ashamed of your bodies. I just want to be real. There are plenty of us that wake up some mornings and we're like, oh no, I don't want to show my arms, I don't want to show my legs, I don't want to show my midriff, I don't want to show my boobs, whatever the case may be. And then the next day you feel confident in that area, or a few months down the road. Our bodies are ever changing. We're ever learning to adapt and love them. And I think there's nothing wrong with wanting to accentuate the best parts of our body and to maybe shy away from the parts that make us feel more insecure, or how to dress them appropriately so that we can feel more secure about the areas that we feel insecure about. Another, for example, that I've been sharing on social media is that that's why I'm super into the mom short, because lately I'm not as confident about my legs as I used to be. And when I say legs, I mean like my thigh area. Before, I feel like I worked out a lot. I seemed more fit even if I wasn't, and now I feel a little bit more flabby postpartum. So it's not something I feel super confident in. And because I am running around with Alessandra all the time, I want something that's gonna make me feel comfortable when I'm like bending over, doing this, doing that, so that I'm not like feeling like I'm popping out everywhere. With that said, another huge key is fit in sizing. First of all, let me say this. Sizing is an illusion because every company is different on how they size. Like I mentioned, I graduated from fashion design. I went to college for design, and we learned about vanity sizing. Lots of brands do vanity sizing. Half the sizes that we even know today as sizes are not even the right sizes as like what they used to be in the industry, which honestly would shock a lot of people because you actually may think that they're smaller, but they were even smaller. But people change, women change, our bodies changes over decades. People's bodies are changing all the time, so standards are changing all the time. So I wouldn't get too hung up on the size the same way. And this is not necessarily about style and fitness. I mean, it's style and fashion, but I would say like just don't get hung up either on like the scale. It's just a number. It's about how we feel comfortable, because I postpartum was trying to like squeeze into my old jeans, and that was just not cute. And that was just not the reality. So I was like waiting, to be in the right place to get back into my own jeans. But I was like, I'm done waiting. I don't want to continue to have months and months pass by and I can't wear jeans because they don't fit or they don't fit right. And I'm like a stuffed sausage. No, thank you. So I bought my jeans 2 sizes up, which was what was fitting at the time, and wore them confidently. Because again, it could be the exact same style jean, but if you're wearing the wrong size, it's not going to be flattering. Just because you want to get into a smaller size and you can squeeze into it doesn't mean it's the most flattering. So it's okay to size up or to size down, as long as you know that you're wearing what is the best fit for your body and the most flattering. And again, you could be one size in one store and a different size in another store. It's not really about the size, it's about the fit on your body. And different styles completely wear differently. So maybe you can be a smaller size on top and a bigger size on the bottom, or reverse. You're a smaller size on the bottom and a bigger size on top. It is the dilemmas that all women face throughout the century and history of time. But let's just kind of like focus on that not being a focus. Another huge thing, which is not popular nowadays, but really, really, really should be, is understanding that tailoring can be your best friend. Because what if you're in between sizes? Or what if you have something that you love how it fits, but it's way too long, or it's a little bit big on the side, but everything else fits your body so great? Don't hesitate and not buy the item because it doesn't fit 100% perfect, when if it's 99% perfect, all you need to do is take it to a tailor. Do that for sure. I would definitely recommend. And I understand and I do know that that's an extra cost and expense. This is a situation I would tell you that it's worth it. If the item that you're buying is a staple piece that you can wear often, again and again, and even maybe if it's a more expensive item, you know it's gonna last you. Oh, someone's up. Then you know it's gonna last you over time. So that way it feels like an investment. Now, if you're buying a fast fashion kind of cheap item that doesn't fit right and has all those things that fits 99% right, but you need it to get tailored, but the tailor's gonna cost you the same price that you got the item for, and then in a year you're gonna not have the item anymore. No, I don't think it's worth it. So with that to say that I highly recommend investing in long-term quality staple pieces that will last in your wardrobe for a very long time, because it's worth the investment. Fast fashion, I know, has been such a craze, especially with trends and everything happening, but I would really, really say that if the trend is not something that makes you feel comfortable about your body, don't do the trend. It's not about that. And I think people get caught up on like wanting to be relevant all the time and like be doing what's in. But if what's in is not right for you, then it's not right for you. And I feel like if you analyze and think back of like really people that you probably admire with their style or their fashion, they kind of have like their signature thing. And even though they may be kind of trendy and do different trendy things, they really understand their body and how to dress. And that is what you want to focus on. You want to focus on what's going to fit you, be right for you, and then just add the things that are additions to that can make it flattering, but not just change and go into like a trend and wear something that you feel uncomfortable or that's not flattering, that you're going to spend money that a year later you're going to regret that you bought. We don't want to do that. Invest in classic pieces that are flattering to your body, that have a good fit, that have a good style, that fit your aesthetic. Always remembering to go back to that aesthetic. Mind you, we do change from time to time, seasons, things in our lives where you may want to have a different aesthetic in your life. No problem. But that does mean time to upgrade that wardrobe. And that's great. You just want to make sure that you're focusing and bringing some of the pieces that may be able to rework into that wardrobe, even though you change your aesthetic completely. So giving the example once again of like my feminine classic style, what if I tomorrow wanted to change and be that sporty, sexy girl? No problem. I just have to really look through my closet and see what pieces I have that can go into that sporty, sexy. If I'm doing feminine classic, maybe some of my feminine pieces can be styled more sexy. And if I have some classic pieces, maybe some of those classic pieces may look a little bit more sporty. That's what you want to analyze and look at. And it's all about styling and putting things together, because how you style things together really make a huge impact. Now, I talked all about this styling, and I hope you were able to use your creativity and your mind to think about all the things that I was talking about in the examples of the 2 looks for like this like adventure that we went to like a theme park for. Well, I'm going to post on social media on my Instagram and have like a little section that is about like tips and tricks of styling. And I'm going to post this item of the looks for the same body types in 2 different aesthetics. And then I'm going to post the same aesthetics in 2 different body types so that we can kind of see how to dress and how to feel as like a more visual option. Because I know if you're like me, I'm a visual learner. I need to like see things, feel things, even like with anything. I like to see and shop in person because I like to feel the texture. I like to feel like the quality of everything. I really need to visually have all my senses in it. So I'm going to create this for you guys. Hopefully this will be a tool that works. I'd love to know if you have any specific questions. I know a lot of things can be very tailored specifically to each person, but feel free to send me a DM. I have you girls DM me all the time asking me for help or for or for tips on styling, what you think, what my advice on like what I think would fit well, what would go well together. I have no problem answering those DMs. I literally love fashion. I enjoy giving advice on all of those things. I'm one of the few people in this world that love window shopping. I think my husband hates it. He literally like doesn't understand the concept of window shopping. I literally can go all day to go to a mall and buy nothing and just look at everything because it just gets my creative juices going and I get so excited. That said, I hope you found this useful and I hope I was able to answer some of the questions that you may have about styling and your aesthetic and fit. Oh, bless you, mama. Salud. Salud, mi reina. Ay, gorda. She's smiling at me. She like fills my heart. So with that said, I hope this podcast really helped and it was insightful. And if you have any questions, send them my way. Leave me some comments or some DMs on Instagram. That is Chic by V. Make sure you follow along. And I can't wait to see you all on the next episode. Bye.